right, just take a nice exhale breath. And an exhale breath. We've been trying to get ready to podcast, and it has not been going like we needed to go, has it?
No.
We had a spirit of something flying up around in here. Spirit of technology.
Well. Yeah, shoo.
Shoo, get out.
Shoo,
get out of here. We don't want to do that.
Yeah, normally don't have issues like that.
No,
but
we had
you're trying to do something good.
Yep. We've been trying for 4 days to do a podcast, and we've been sitting here 4 days. You see all the empty pizza boxes, and
if we were here for 4 days, I'd have quit.
No, you know what? She would have quit for a second, then she would have said, "We're going to rally. We're going to rally," because you would have not given up to figure out what's going on.
You're right.
Well, we are podcasting today with Leslie Cowart. Everybody, welcome to the Fearless 271 studio, Leslie Cowart. We got the clap sign going right now. All the audience is clapping right now.
I'm not really sure what noise I just made, but I'm sorry.
It was a good one.
It was like I'm not sure.
But there was no reverb with it.
Yeah, you're right.
So it was good.
There's no reverb.
No reverb with it.
We had reverb everything else.
Off the telephone.
Off the telly.
Off the telly.
A minute ago, I was like, well, why don't you introduce yourself? What's your name? I said, my name is Leslie. What's your name? And she said, my name is Leslie. And I'm like, oh, Ashley, you in trouble because you got 2 Leslies in the same room right now.
That's right.
What do you do with that?
I'm going to leave.
What y'all do? You bask in it. It's just too good to have 2 Leslies in the same room.
I don't know. I'll look at this Leslie. How about that?
She told me to stop talking a second ago, and so now I will stop talking.
Well, I already told her I'm going to fire her because of things today. And then she says, oh, my phone is about to die. And then I'm going to charge the phone. All the things. Very princess-like. That's all I'm going to say. Leslie Cowart, you're approved for today.
You're approved. So I'll just now sit over here and be quiet, and y'all can just handle the entire conversation. It would go well.
It would.
It would go great.
It wouldn't be the same without you, though.
Oh.
Yeah, I agree.
Bing. Okay. Today, Leslie's been just talking about some really good stuff. This Leslie, not me. I haven't been obviously I've not been doing I've not been doing the right thing because I'm causing havoc. I'm wreaking havoc. However, Leslie's just been sharing with Ashley and Leslie's been sharing with Ashley and me, not Ashley and I. One of my friends, if they were to hear this, they'd say grammar. They'd throw a grammar flag on me. So with Ashley and me about really some cool things that God's been showing her. And it's been a process, correct? I mean, it's been a long process. And so we're going to she's sitting over there with her leash on. We're going to take that leash off and let her just kind of start sharing a bit of your story and kind of what God's doing in your life and how the story of Elijah kind of pops into that, right? I mean, I think that you've said Elijah. Is it Elijah or Elisha? Elijah. Okay. So Jah. Yep.
Interesting that you say that. I was listening to a podcast this morning and Elisha came into it. And I was like, holy.
Okay. Because we want you to share that as well, because those are 2 of my favorite characters. And so how those characters in God's word in the Old Testament, if you're looking for Elijah and Elisha, you have to go to the Old Testament to find them.
Mm-hmm.
But Leslie's got some good things that we want to bring in and share. So I'm gonna, we've been after her for a little while to share a story. Ashley, Bodai, and we've been kind of after Leslie to come into the podcast studio, and she finally agreed.
Hey, but it's all about timing. It's like I've been telling Leslie Cowart. I have to, you too. I've got 2 Leslies here. So Leslie C. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's like timing, everything about your story and everything about, you know what I mean? Sometimes when you're not ready and you're ready and everything else, but also sometimes you may be ready, but it's not the right time. It's something I've learned too for either myself or just in this. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to talk today. So I know you got some good stuff. Clearly, we've been attacked all morning trying to get all this stuff together. So I know there's something really good you're going to say, and somebody's going to get something out of it. So I already know that.
I hope so.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, you just rip roar and go start exactly where you want to start, and then you can go all the way back to in the beginning, Genesis chapter 1,
or when you were we taught, if whatever.
We taught.
Yeah.
Or what made you, okay, so let's just go with this. What made you decide that you should sit on the couch here with us? What made you think, you know what, I think I've got something to share. God has something for me to share. When did that come about?
I heard a podcast from Mel Robbins, And I don't
Name the podcast because we can tag Mel.
I don't.
Okay, forget it, Mel. We will not tag you. Go ahead.
I cannot remember. Sarah Roberts was in it with her.
Okay.
But I can't remember the name of it. But they were talking about basically just living your faith as who you are and not living it sanitized. I feel like a lot of people live their faith in such a sanitized way. Like you sanitize your prayers, you sanitize the way you worship, you sanitize the way you talk to other people about God.
So we're talking about you're using sanitized in a way of we have to clean ourselves up
right
before we talk to others, pray to God, worship, or anything. We got to clean ourselves up, and we do that too much.
Yeah,
okay.
I feel like people try to hide who they truly are because they think people want to see something else besides who God made you to be.
Okay, that's. Might drop right away.
Oh, we're done. We can leave now.
That's all I had to say.
Yeah, that's really good.
That was the word. Yeah.
Okay. So you heard this podcast and it prompted you to think about yourself or what?
No, like I feel like I had only briefly met Ashley at this time. Like I met Paula.
Yes.
And
Paula is Ashley's mom for those of you that might have just joined us right away.
And I fell in love with Paula. She's amazing. She's such an amazing person, but I'd never really crossed paths with Ashley. I don't know, but we had briefly talked a few times, I think, at this point. And when I listened to that, God just kept saying to me over and over and over, send this to Ashley. Take pictures of your journaling and send it to Ashley. And I was like, no, I don't send pictures of my journaling to anybody, except a couple people in my life.
Right.
I was like, I don't know her. I don't talk to her like that. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
And I mean, it was constant throughout the day. And I was like, whatever. Okay. I'll send it to her. And I sent it and I was like, this is probably super weird. I don't know you like this.
Pretty sure that's how I said it too. Cause I was
yeah. I don't know you like this. God will basically not shut up. So I'm like, okay, and I sent it. And that was probably almost a year ago because I was school shopping with Avery that day. And when she called me, I think you were in a meeting or something all day. And when she called me, I was standing in line at Belk to check out with clothes. And the lady checking us out probably thought I was crazy because we were talking about it. I didn't care though. Yeah. Whatever.
No, we don't care.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this journal, did it have something to do with this sanitized thing that you're talking about? Put that together. Put this journal and the way you just started this podcast.
I mean, they talked a lot about how I think we take everything that God gives us for granted a lot of times. And he doesn't want anything from us except to come to him completely as who we are. He knows who we are. He knows everything we do, but it blows my mind. At this point of in my relationship with Christ, it's it blows my mind that people try to hide from God. You know? I mean, it's just what do you think you're doing? You think he can't see you, And they talked a lot about that, and it just, I guess it hit home with me because I used to be that way. You go through life and you try so hard to be somebody you're not. You don't ever ask God, what am I supposed to be doing? What is my purpose in life? We try to fabricate our purpose in life. It just hit me in all the right ways, I guess. And it stuck with me ever since then. And I mean, it wasn't long after that our lives, my family's lives kind of spiraled and we went through a pretty tough season the past 2 years, and I just know for a fact that if I hadn't have heard that podcast that day and it hit me in all the right ways, and I didn't just like run hard after God after that I don't know where I would be today.
Okay.
Like I would probably be a product of divorce. I would have a broken family. Told you I was going to cry.
It's okay.
It's
Being
okay.
real. That's all. Yeah.
I'm so thankful for it. It's hard to go through seasons of life like that. And in that podcast I was listening to this morning, she talked about how we get so mad at God for things that we go through in life, and like we ask him, like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you punishing me? Like, what did I do to deserve this? And she said, I don't know why we look at it like that. She's like, if you think about how you parent your children, when they do something they're not supposed to do, or you're trying to grow them into this person you want them to be, you discipline them. You don't punish them. You discipline them. You, whatever it may be, like taking their phone away from them, or, whatever it is, God will take things away from us to discipline us, not punish us. And I just never thought about it like that. And it's just, I don't know, it's overwhelming in a sense that he, like when you really grasp how much he cares about us and cares about who we are and the purpose that he has for us in this life, it's so overwhelming.
I want you to revisit your whole discussion about purpose, okay? Because I believe, using an I statement, I believe we try to make our purpose fit, and then we say, oh, this is God's purpose for my life. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I may say that, well, this is what God's purpose is for me, but it's really Leslie fabricating this idea of that's God's purpose in my life. Do you think that may be what other people might do? Have you seen that? Do you feel that? Do you think you may have done that at some, or you, Ashley? I mean, do we do that sometimes? I don't know if I have. I'm sure I have. But, because we just want it all to look squeaky clean, going back to sanitized,
Well, I think the world has a lot of that. I know the last podcast we talked about, especially like we talked about purpose and talked about, I may have even said it about, sometimes we think we have to fulfill a certain purpose. What the world tells us that needs to be our purpose. Like if I haven't done X amount or this, or gotten that job or gotten that, or had kids yet, or it's almost like, well, I'm a failure because the world tells me I have to do this. When really, if we would just ask God what our purpose is, he'll reveal it, and maybe not tomorrow, but eventually. So yeah, I mean, that's a constant thing for me, especially, but I know there's been many times, different ages and stages of life, where I either wanted to like seek out and understand what my purpose was, or I was caught up in the fabrication of, like, oh, well, I guess this is how it should be, or maybe like I'm on this path and I really wasn't like on the path, but I needed to be. So I mean, there could be so many different things, but yeah, I think that's and I think too, everybody comes to, this is I statement, but it took something really bad to happen to me, with the death of my sister. I've been very open about, but for me to get hit upside the head and go, oh, what do I do with my life? In all different sorts of areas, and so I don't know. I think the more conversations I've had with people over time too, I feel like everybody's got that moment, especially as you're older. When you're younger, I mean, like, you're having fun, you're living life as you should, but I think so many conversations have revealed to me that, in due time and God's timing, you figure that out, in a way. Doesn't mean you figured out life. It just means you figured out. Yeah. Oh, so anyway.
What was in your journal? You knew I was coming with it, right?
I was trying to give you a little time.
That triggered something, because it's like, you talked about Elijah, and I had told Ashley not long after, and I said, I don't know why he's leading me to Elijah's story, but he is. And I finished that study 4 days before she asked me to come. She's like, it's time. I was like, okay, like, you're showing off now, but whatever. But
So good.
it, you talk about purpose and what God has for us, and I think people run from it because they get scared of it. And man, Elijah, you want to talk about Elijah? All the things that God went through with him and provided for him. I mean, he had him at the Cherith, and he had ravens providing for him. And it points out how ravens they're not this like majestic, beautiful bird. They're nasty. They're not dependable.
Nope.
And
I mean, I had a raven supposed to bring me lunch here in just a few minutes, and it ain't showed up yet. Sorry.
It's probably not going to.
Raven. Sorry.
No, Charlie got it.
But
I don't know. I hear some dogs barking. I'm not sure who's got it at this point. Go ahead. Yes, ravens. Yeah, ugly black birds.
Yeah, but it just he was in so many situations where he had to fully depend on God to provide for him. Like he couldn't, if he would have gave him a bird that was more dependable, he would have started depending on that bird versus God. And then, when the water ran out and he told him, to go, and there would be a widow that would provide for him, and her son got sick. I mean, he went through all these things with God where he had to completely depend on him. And then you have Mount Carmel. I mean, you want to talk about experiencing something in life? I mean, he doused the wood, he built a trench around it, and then filled it with water. And then you have that much confidence in God that he's just gonna light it up. And it blows my mind that he went through all that with God. And then when the rain came, he prayed for the rain, and the rain came, and Ahab went back and told Jezebel, and she made her mad. And she was like, no, I'm not having this. So she's like, I'm going to have him killed.
I'm going to kill him.
I'm going to kill him. Yeah, I'm going to kill him. What does he think he's doing?
One of my favorite stories.
He gets scared and runs.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, how could you possibly be scared of her after everything you just witnessed God do? And I think we get like that. 100%.
Yeah,
and
hands down.
I mean, but he ran and he hid, but he came back. But if you put all that together and you think about if Elijah never would have came back, if he would have ran from it and just kept running, we wouldn't have Elisha.
No, we wouldn't. Right.
Which
is the prophet that came in after Elijah.
It's who God told him to anoint.
Yeah, anointed him as prophet.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, and you think about our purpose in life, like what God made us to do in this life. What are we running from that we're possibly preventing somebody else from experiencing?
Oh, was another.
Can't gather up all the mics off the floor. They're just all falling down. Yeah.
I mean, you bring Elisha into it and you see him do so many things. I mean, you have Naaman, who had, what did he have? Leprosy. And he had this girl tell him, go, and there's a prophet that can heal you, a man of God that can heal you. And he goes and, he goes to the king, I think, first, thinking that he's the one that can heal him. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Like, and it makes him mad. And I can't remember who it was, but
I'm thinking, and you may have to edit this, but I'm thinking Nahum's the king. Is he not the king?
Not Nahum. It's Naaman.
Oh, Naaman. That's right.
Yeah.
And he to be healed, he's told to be healed, he's got to go find this man of God. And he's like, is this the one where he has to wash his?
Yeah.
He has to go in the
Jordan
nasty
River.
Jordan River.
Yeah.
And if you've ever seen the Jordan River, 7 times. To be healed, you got to go do this.
But he got mad because when they sent him to Elisha, he didn't even answer the door.
No.
He sent a messenger, and when he told the messenger to tell him what to do, and he got mad. And he was like, you can't even come to the door.
Even talk to me?
Yeah, you can't even talk to me.
Elijah,
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he almost walked away from his miracle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, how many times do we walk away from our miracle in life?
Because we're not willing to take it.
Just a little further.
Right. The walls of Jericho, march around them 7 days. What if they'd have just marched around it 5 days? Because they got tired. The walls would have never fallen down. I'm sorry I interrupted you. Go right ahead.
No. I'm saying I'm sure there's been even, I'm just thinking, how many times. Well, and I think sometimes too, like I'll use an I statement as sometimes things that like I don't want to do or I didn't want to do. I mean, very example sounds small, but it was big for me in high school. I was like, I'm never working in family business. Well, God had a sense of humor, and what did I do? You know what I mean? And all the doors closed, and I'm like, well, okay. When I got out of college, I started doing it. Now I'm grateful, right? Because it led to so many other things, and other things that taught me so much, but I was like, I'm not doing this. But, you say you're not going to do something or it scares you or anything. And then God's like, okay, well, just, watch this, So, but yeah, there's so many times in my life that I, even current ones right now that I'm facing that I'm going, I don't want to do that. Even though it's just a constant nudge, and I think about that too. It's like, what not only would I miss, but if I didn't step into something, what are other people going to be missing?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a real thing, so it's heavy.
Yeah. I mean, it is heavy. It's, it comes down to people. I feel like people don't want to sacrifice their comfort to fulfill their purpose in life. Like we all just want to live in this little bubble, and you think, following Christ is just going to be this rainbow road and butterflies everywhere. And it's really the opposite. Like you're going to live a life and you're constantly going to sacrifice.
I mean, God allowed Jesus to be our sacrifice. I mean, should we even expect anything else? Right. And we've talked about this in here before about the disciples. I mean, every single one of them had an ending that was probably not what any of us sitting in this room. I know it's not an ending I would want. I don't want to be crucified upside down. I don't want to be exiled to an island. I want a rainbow and butterfly road. But I haven't gotten that so far. I mean, my life is wonderful, and I was telling somebody on the phone just a few minutes ago that was having a really, really hard time. I said, gratefulness, if you can be grateful, it takes up this ugliness that we feel. It's hard to be ugly and grateful both at the same time. Right. So if you can write down one thing that you're grateful for, it helps in our lives. Going back to your story with Elijah, God told him to go back the way he came. So how does that relate to your story of, well, I could have been divorced, or I could have been exiled from my family, or what did you have to do? What did you have to swallow for God to say, hey, Leslie, I know that we've got some things going on right here. And I mean, hey, Ashley, I know you've got some things going on right now. Hey, Leslie, I know we've got some things going on right now. I want you to go back where you came from. And you got a killer waiting there for you. And that's Jezebel. Jezebel's going to have him killed. But what is waiting for us that's our killer? You know what I'm saying? Are we going to lose a job? But is it a job that we should have lost anyway? Are we going to have a hard conversation with somebody? Is that our killer? But should we have gone back and had a hard conversation anyway? Is it status? Are we going to lose status? That goes back to being sanitized. Are we going to lose status? But we should have gone back and lost that anyway, because truly, Jesus doesn't care what our status is. He's the king of the world, but came to be served. I mean, came to serve and not be served. So what is it that we need to go back and find? And is it a spirit of fear? Is it a spirit of anxiety? What do we got to go back and face? What's our killer?
Gosh, I think it's pride.
There we are. Yeah, there's somebody throw me a microphone because I don't have one anymore. Yeah, pride. Yeah,
They're all on the floor again.
they are.
I mean, 100%. It was 100% pride for me. It was, they don't deserve my kindness. They don't deserve anything. That was my mindset that I had for so long. I don't have to do anything. I shouldn't have to do anything. They did this, they ruined this. They need to fix it. It's not my place. I don't care to fix it. Done. And it took him yanking me up and being like, no, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Hey, drive on down the driveway.
Yeah.
Go back the way you came out.
Yeah.
Get on back because you got some things you need to say.
Yeah.
And a mental picture of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like,
turn that white SUV around. Turn that white SUV around.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. And he, I sought after this apology for so long. Like I was like, I need an apology. They owe me an apology. They owe my family an apology. They owe all of us an apology. And when I finally got it, it wasn't what I thought it was,
Ashley and I have talked about that several times.
I mean, it's just like,
And Ashley reminds me sometimes that, Leslie, what you're worried about, they've already moved way on.
Way on.
They don't even consider. She reminds me of that all the time when I get all up in my feels about but they.
Only because I've learned it so many times.
But they, and I saw, even at work, I sought something that was not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It was not going to happen.
Yeah.
It was. And then when I actually talked to somebody about it, oh no, it wasn't I didn't get the response I wanted.
Yeah.
And I want to say something right quick before I forget it, because I'm an easy one to forget it.
Yeah.
God sends you back. You're not alone on the road going back. I got to say that. I mean, I'm about to get boogered up on that one.
I mean,
He does not send you back alone. He sends you back holding your right hand, fighting the battle for you if you let him.
Well, and it's not just that. I mean, like throughout the past 2 years, the people that he has put in my life that have walked this journey with me, there's no other explanation for them being in my life besides him.
Okay. Had to be God.
Had to be.
Intersections.
100% had to be him.
Yeah.
And it's just mind blowing to me. And I think that's the biggest thing that hits me so hard is people live these lives and are this person that they know they're not. They have anxiety. They stress about impressing all these people in the world. And for what? Who freaking cares? I mean, like, I don't care how big your house is. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care who you know. It's just like, do you know Jesus?
That's right.
You don't?
Yeah, that's what we need to know.
That's what we need to know.
Right.
I mean, I don't care about your connections. And so many people seek after that in life versus seeking a relationship with God. Yeah. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking that people live like that and they have no true connections and no true relationships in their life because of that.
Right.
How can you connect with somebody when you don't even know who you are?
Oof.
Hey, the mics fell out of it.
I'm telling you, I don't have anything else to speak in at this point.
How can you have true relationships with people when you don't even know who you are? When you won't let people know who you are?
Keep going. Come on.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it hit me in such a way that I was like, I don't ever want to live my life like that again. I don't, and God started this whole thing by me sending something to somebody I didn't know.
It's true.
And now, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem talking to her about anything in my life.
Of course.
Like I don't have anything to hide. I wouldn't feel like she would judge me in any type of way if I told her everything about me.
Right.
Or you.
You're right. I was going to say, you're right about that one. I don't know about me.
Yeah. I know you wouldn't. You might
100% wouldn't.
You might speak real,
I don't even think I do that. I'd shut my mouth.
real
I can't do
bluntly.
it. I can shut my mouth, actually.
It just depends on if Salty Les is in the house today or it's not.
house.
She smiles over there.
I got to spin the wheel, spin the dial to see if it lands on salt, Himalayan or Dead Sea.
Well, right? Well, Himalayan, right? I think too. Like, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and the thought will come out, but I was like, "How you doing?" And they were like, "Man, it's just a tough week, and like I'm struggling with the past and hurt and everything." I said, "I'm not gonna like throw advice at you, but can I just tell you something?" And I was like, one day is going to come and you're going to look back and go, why did I give that so much real estate and headspace in my head?
Amen, girl.
And it's like, and sometimes it's preparing you for the next chapter, or maybe it's the person that you meet and you need to tell your story, hence what you're doing right now. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think I've gotten to the point where I have to be grateful for the things that either I go through or that I learn, right? And I'm stubborn. I mean, I get that from a long line of boat eyes. You know what I'm saying? One just went to be to heaven yesterday, and she was queen of it. But, I think that's what God refines us and continuously does that, at least for myself. I'm pointing the finger back at me. But I think if we would be grateful for the things that we do go through, right? But also learn something, don't have to keep relearning it through, the entire time. But knowing that, why did I give so much real estate when really, and it's like, I continuously have to remind myself, I'm like, why was I worrying about that? Do you know what I'm saying? Or, so, but I think to your point is people can spend so much time on spending the time they miss the opportunity. Either A, it was their purpose, or B, it was an intersection with somebody else because they were trying to be somebody that we're not.
Those intersections too, there's two things I want to say about those intersections. It is nothing for a holy God, sovereign God, to put you in the space you need to be in. But we limit him so often and think, I'm never going to meet somebody to help me with this, or I'm never going to meet. And it's just, also think we don't pray God-sized prayers. I read something the other day that just really slapped me. My brother Bill sent it to me, actually. And he's like, God can almost just be offended by the things we pray. He's like, what do you think? I'm just got a magic wand up here? I mean, I'm just sitting up here helping to get your house clean? Or we don't pray God-sized prayers. I mean, he made everything. He can do anything. And we insult him by these little, Lord, will you help me? Blah, 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 blah. He wants to talk to us.
Yeah.
But he wants us to trust him for God-sized things.
Elijah.
Let's just full circle it.
I mean,
full circle it, baby.
Elijah was a human being.
He was a human being.
There was nothing special about Elijah.
No, he was just like me and you. Us.
His faith was just, I don't even have the word for it.
Right.
Like we do downplay it so much to a point to where I feel like we downplay our purpose because we're like, well, I could never do that. I could never be that. I'll never have the money for that. There's no way that can happen. And I feel like God is just screaming to so many people, like, just let it go.
Right.
Like, just lay it at my feet. Just trust me. Just take a step, just whatever it is. Like, what are you afraid of? What are you so scared of? If we're on our knees and we're on our face in front of God, where are you going to fall? How can you fall from your knees? How can you fall when you're on your face?
Wow.
And it's something I don't do enough, like.
Now I know why we were having so much trouble at the beginning
I
of this
know,
podcast.
agree.
I couldn't get anything to work. Now I understand why.
Nothing was working.
Yeah.
And now it is.
in that season of my life, the past couple years, that's the first time I've been brought to my knees.
Are you saying that he allowed some trouble to grow you?
Absolutely.
Because we don't want to be troubled.
And I mean, it was trouble that I was like, I remember writing in my journal one day, like, God, please pull me out of this valley. Like, I feel like I'm not only in a valley, but I'm like in a lake, in a valley, drowning in the lake, in the valley.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Like I'm treading water. Just pull me out of it, please. And I swear it was either the next day or a couple days after it, David Daniels posted something on Facebook talking about how you can't plant a farm on a mountaintop, or farms are planted in the valleys, and the seeds are planted it was something along those lines. But it was talking about how we grow in the valley. It's a nice view up top, but eventually you have to come back down to the valley anyways, because that's where the fruit is, and that's where all the things grow. And I was like, I've been praying for the wrong thing this whole time. Like, I've been praying for him to pull me out of it instead of praying for him to help me grow through it.
I was going to say, teach me something while I'm in it.
Right.
Yeah. So good. It's really good. That's really good.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I feel like there's so many women that live these lives like trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Right.
And it's for what? What are they going to do for you? If you're not being authentic with them, you think they're being authentic with you? I don't have space for that in my life anymore.
I understand. Believe me. That's what I was saying earlier. I think you have to get to that point too, because I'm sure there's people saying it all the time, and I would hear it too, or just, whatever the situation may be. But yeah, I think you get hit to your knees, or something happens, or, you just have an epiphany and you're like, I'm done. Yeah. So, but.
And I think that's it. And I mean, it's just like when he speaks to you and he tells you, like, I have a purpose for you. Like, I have a purpose for, I feel like the whole season of our life that really spiraled was because of our kids. Like, I felt like he was screaming to me, you need to set some boundaries and you need to protect your children, or this is just gonna continue. Like, this is something that I need you to break the cycle of. And it, just like Elijah, when he had to go tell them, you're not going to have rain for, how many years was it? 3 years? I don't know if he told him that in the beginning, but he just said, you're about to go through a season. Very dry season. Very dry season. And they blamed it all on him.
Of course they did.
He was just the messenger.
Yeah. Don't shoot the messenger. I think that's the reason we have that now.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Those prophets were just messengers.
Yeah. I mean, they were like, it's your fault. This is all your fault. You did this. And he's like, I'm just relaying the message, And it's just, I feel like people want to control things and be this person and not pay the consequences when they have to face the reality of it. And I can tell you this, like, if God speaks to me and tells me to make a change for my kids, I mean, you better watch out.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to, like, plow through it.
Yeah, I see that in you.
Well, I mean, when it comes to my kids, I've told my oldest one, like, we're in the thick of middle school. He started middle school this year, and it's just like,
right, yeah.
All the things. And I had to have a hard conversation with him. A conversation that I don't feel like I should have to have with a 12-year-old. But like the world we live in now,
yeah,
is it. And I've always said I want an open and honest relationship with my kids, and I want them to always be able to come to me and trust God in situations that they don't feel confident in. And I told him, I was like, you're not going to be like everybody else. I'm claiming that over your life. You will not be like everybody else. God has a purpose for you, And I feel like, you going down the path of what everybody else is doing, it's not going to get you there. And, my husband was like, well, don't tell him that. Like, you make him think he's lonely and he's not going to have any friends. And I'm like, no, like,
we're going to speak truth around here.
Maybe,
those boundaries. Yeah.
Maybe that's the problem. Like, we don't tell our kids how it truly is. Like, we sanitize life for them.
Big old hand sanitizer here. I mean, this is just like a Clorox thing.
I mean, it's just like,
it's a Clorox moment. Yeah. We just drinking
Clorox ever since COVID.
Don't do that. Disclaimer. Don't drink Clorox.
Yeah. Oh Lord. Yeah. Don't.
Yeah. Sorry. No. Nobody hears that. We are not saying that.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like it starts with that. Like, how can you parent your children and parent them to their purpose in life when you can't guide yourself to your own purpose?
It just trickles down from what you're saying. Yeah. If you don't know your purpose and you're trying to be something that you're not, it's going to trickle down to everything. Inauthentic relationships with your kids. It's just going to keep trickling down. So bottom line, be an Elijah, turn around, go back, learn who God wants you to be. It ain't all going to be all right, but guess what? It going to be all right. All right. Let's go. Okay. This is amazing. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got mic drops everywhere. I mean, we've been talking forever. We probably should make this a part 2 and 3.
I think it's got to be like part 2, part 3, part,
Parts
so
1 and 2. Yeah.
What's your piece of advice to somebody that you were in the thick of the storm and in the valley and everything? What's your piece of advice to somebody that's in that right now? I know you're on the other side of it, but like, what's something that, you learned or wish you would have known in that moment that you were in?
Make God's voice the loudest voice in your life.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And it's hard.
And how does God speak to us, Leslie?
Speaks to us kindly, gently. He's nice.
Even though it might be a roar?
He might say it loudly, but he doesn't say it rude, like he's not going to be like,
Yeah. Through people, through God's word, through prayer. Mm-hmm. Listen, I mean, we as Christians have our face down. We got to get our heads up.
Yeah.
So we can hear him. Yeah.
And we got to quit being scared of being a living sacrifice for him. People want comfort and want to just live day in and day out. And I mean, I feel like that's a question a lot of people need to ask themselves. Like, if you call yourself a Christian, is your life comfortable right now? Are you living comfortable day in and day out? Because even though I'm through the thick of that storm, I feel like it's still something, all the time.
I was going to say all the time.
All the time.
It's going to be something.
All the time.
We can't just shoo it away. It's going to be there.
Yeah. Sweep it under the rug.
So we got an Awaken event coming up. Right?
Just the heavy.
It's all heavy. Yeah, let's exhale. Breathe that in.
Well, and when you ask the question about like how God speaks, and worship is a big thing that we've been talking about too. And so speaking of the Awaken Fearless Worship Night, but I think what's been so cool about our nights, Fearless and this one coming up, this one is solely a worship night. I mean, there may be some small speaking moments, so there's no speakers, it's different, but I think what I love about those nights and what the conversations I've been having with people is about what worship means to them.
Yes.
The worship night is intended to be a night where it's off campus and the freedom to be able to worship in a free way. And those Awaken kids, they do it. And that's what's so beautiful about it. But we got a lot of people at Fearless that love to worship too. So it will be different, but it's going to be a lot of fun. It's April 29th.
April 29th, the Little Hawaiian. Yeah. It's a Fearless Awaken collab.
Yeah.
Women only.
It is.
It's a women only event.
All ages.
And the thing I love about Awaken too is those young adults seem to be more trying to find their purpose. not trying to live that fake life. So that ties it in exactly to what we have spoken about for the last little bit of time. Big applause for Leslie Cowart being in the room with us today.
Yeah, man, we may have to do a part 3, part 4.
Let's do a part 3, part 4.
And appreciate you being willing,
to
talk and to say, and because it's not fun to have to revisit things that either hurt us or, but it's great to be able to say what we learned through it, but it's still hard to go through. So
to act on what you to act on sending she wasn't a stranger, but to send someone that you really didn't know or trust or anything else, some intimate details of your life. That was an answer to what God wanted you to do. So, and through that, look what he's done. Just amazing things in your life. So thanks for sharing all of that today.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to go and pick all the mics up off the floor.
Yeah.
So next time
I'll go get the dustpan.
Yeah.
She didn't just drop the mics, she shattered them.
Yeah, 100%. And there's Clorox on the floor. So we need to,
It's raining Clorox. Umbrella.
Oh, gosh.